Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, and 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, Shaker Heights baseball fans, and welcome to the Mayfield High School baseball field. We're just southwest of the Mayfield High School to see your Red Raiders of Shaker Heights compete on the road once again. They're back for another away game after defeating the Cleveland Heights Tigers yesterday in a score of 16-7. The 16 victorious runs came off of 16 runs, or excuse me, came off of 16 hits and 3 walks on offense. The big hits to note are firstly the 2-run bombs from both Will Tagan in the first and Will Berglund in the sixth. No, the game will be supported by Andrew Fogarty, the starting pitcher for Shaker. It'll be his first time starting this season, but we'll get back to him when the Red Raiders take the field. On offense, Shaker is going to need off in number 1 hole. Right behind him will be Flint Block, the big, and 4. They're the big power guys, but power in the 5 hole as one. Quentin Garnett, the catcher, in 7. Brett Moore will be in 8. Eli Kuda will cap off the starting 9. We'll be right back as we will get started here in Mayfield, Ohio. in. We are just getting started. Sam Friguletti is going to lead off the batting order. Will be number 20. He's a sophomore, throws. And Friguletti, the left fielder in today's one, will take his spot at home plate. And the foul to get to it, but it will just barely land in foul territory. But with that, we are underway here in Mayfield, Ohio. Sam Friguletti with an 0-1 count to start us off. White. The next to Friguletti will be Friguletti with a rather unfortunate average to start off the first half of the season at 185. This one's fouled back over to our right. And any more over to our right, you never know. That could get in the middle of a softball game over there. Mayfield is also hosting Gilmore Academy in a game of softball. Hopefully no foul balls are going to interfere with anyone's game here. The next pitch to Friguletti outside. Ball 2, and once again we're at an even count. Friguletti with a strong majority of his hits going to the right side of the field. Only one, or excuse me, majority of them going over to the left side of the field. And that ball is going to go into that softball stadium. And so, again, hopefully not too many balls over there interfering with play. And already a softball player needing to get out of the dugout and pick up the baseball. But we'll do it again at 2-2. Have a full count and our first AB of the game. I believe this is Friguletti's first time batting leadoff this season, as head coach Stephen English has definitely shifted around that leadoff spot, and that'll get the job done in the leadoff spot. Friguletti is going to already draw a walk early in this ball game, as there's not really much earlier you could get. I believe that was 7 pitches. And our first at-bat, and that is a quick way to work the count. But now standing in, it'll be Flynn Block. He'll also stand in the right-handed batter's box. A quick pickoff throw, and he got him over at first. Friguletti with a bit too long of a lead from first. And though he's quickly the first base runner for the Red Raiders, he's quickly picked off. Not even a pitch thrown over to Flynn Block just yet. So, nothing. Prince, the man on the hill for Mayfield. The pitch. This one swung on back into the cage behind. In his 41 at-bat. We excuse all of our issues here in Mayfield. But now the count will be 1-2 on Block. The next to him. Swung on and missed. He got him chasing inside, got him jammed in the right-handed batter's box, but oh well. A walk and a strikeout to open up Prince's outing on the mound. But now it will be Will Tagan. He got one of the 2 home runs against Heights just yesterday in the 16-7 victory. And the first one will be down low for ball 1. Will Tagan, definitely someone to put it in contact anywhere. Not exactly a one side of the baseball field hitter. He's got 2 home runs, one to left and one to straightaway center. We'll see if he can do that again. This pitch. Low but ruled a strike. Will Sagan must have thought that one was low as well. This one to take in a liner into center. And it'll get over the center fielder's head all the way back. And the Red Raiders get a runner in scoring position for the big bat of Nolan James heading into the right-handed hitter's box. Number 17, Nolan James. If you need a man to get an RBI, this is definitely a man to get it. So far, he's got 13. That puts him tied for 3rd on the team. He's tied with Braden White. Nolan James handling the duties over at first today. Normally, he's DHing. But with Braden White DHing, Nolan James needs to get on the field. James will call time. We're still awaiting the first pitch to him. The runner in scoring position will take in at second. The 15th pitch from Prince. Low. Roll the ball. Nolan James also with a phenomenal batting average, 420. Fouled back. Will that get into the softball field? It will not. Nolan James, the big RBI opportunity here. Can he convert? I get the Red Raiders on the board early. The next offering. Swung on. This one's going to be a tapper over to first, but he fumbles it, and he's not going to be able to recover. Off the outside of his glove. Not something you see too often. And that, so Nolan James will rather luckily stand over at first. Will Tagan will advance from second to third. There's runners at the corners. And Will Berglund will stand in. He's the other man with the home run in yesterday's affair. 354 batting average. The first to him. 4-1. Berglund also a guy that will get contact just about anywhere on the field. On that pitch, Nolan James advances from first to second with a stolen base. Catcher not looking to throw it to home. A big swing and missed from Will Berglund. That'll even the count. 1-1. Berglund with 3 hits in yesterday's game. 2 RBI home run at that. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, and that will get away from him. He's still struggling to find it. Nolan James, he's caught right between home plate and third, but he's out. But Will Tagan will come across to score. However, it seems like the third baseman was perhaps in the way of Nolan James. And with the fielder's interference, it looks like Nolan James will technically be across as the second run. So that's a way to start off the ball game. 2 runs already. The 2-out rally. It gets him on the board first. So Will Berglund is still going to stand in with a 2-1 count. Much less of a low-pressure situation. The runners in scoring position have now come across to score. This pitch to Berglund. So as I said at the beginning of the game, Shaker needing to get their bats hot early, and, well, this is one way to do it. Yesterday, Shaker and their big victory against Heights, they also had a 2-run first. The next to Berglund. Just upstairs. I believe that works the count to 2-2. Or no, I believe that was full. Yeah, bring Berglund as the next base runner for the Red Raiders, and Braden White quickly get onto the field. The first to White will be outside. During his windup, he was still checking Berglund over at. Maybe that catch him off guard, throwing ball number 1. And this time it'll be a pickoff throw. Berglund back in on a dive. And Prince already with 24 pitches in inning number 1. And in high school, that's not what you like to see. This one to Braden White. Inside, almost got him. Needing to get out of the way a little bit, but it doesn't hit him. The count. So 2 away, a 2-0 count. The pitch upstairs, 3 straight balls to Braden White to open up his at-bat. The runner's over at first. That's Will Berglund. And we'll see if White gets a pitch to hit. Most likely doesn't have the green light to swing the bat, however. This offering. Just a bit high, I suppose. As that one looked like it was honestly right down the middle. But I suppose not the case. We're seeing from more of an elevated position. So, as I say every ball game, the umpire sees what he sees, and he calls what he calls. And we'll get a mound visit. We'll quickly be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. So now standing in, it'll be Quentin Garnett, the catcher in today's one, with number 6 on the back of that jersey. He's got a runner in scoring position at second. He's also got a man at first, to think about. The first one to Garnett. Oof. will be ruled a strike. Quentin Garnett, he had what felt like a very long time. He had a 4-game no-hitting streak. This one upstairs. Good eye from the catcher. But since then, since that 4-game no-hit streak, he's now been on a 4-game hitting streak. He had 2 in yesterday's affair. We'll see what he can do with the runner in scoring position. The pitch. That got him, and that it did. So there were 2 away, and since then, their offense, I mean, there were 2 away with no score, nobody on. And then they got 2 runs across, and now they have bases loaded. 30 pitches already from Prince. Time is called. This is Brett Moore's first time. He checked his swing, but it looks like so 0-1 the count. The pitch outside. 1-1 goes the count. And we'll see what Brett Moore can do as he stands in. He's working a 306 average. Your typical shortstop for the Red Raiders. Hasn't moved much from that spot. The pitch. Oof, no one looked outside. Not the case. 1-2. Brett Moore needing to defend here as we've got bases loaded. The next to Moore. Upstairs. These are some close pitches from Prince. And some tough calls to make behind the plate. Moore, not too much of a power guy, but we'll see what he can do with the bases loaded. And that one, I suppose, just upstairs. A big curve from the pitcher. And I believe that works the count to full. So a high pressure pitch here coming from Prince. Bases loaded. With 2 away, the payoff pitch to Brett Moore. Swung on. He got him. That might have been called a bit upstairs. The side. That's 36 pitches in the top of the first inning. And a good way to start the ball game if you're the men in red. But with that, we're headed to the bottom of the first. We'll see what Shaker can do on defense and if Andrew Fogarty can do well in his first start of the season. And thank you very much for tuning in. We're really just getting started. However, Shaker has already found the scoreboard. They're up 2-0. But keep in mind, the Wildcats have not come up to bat just yet. The first pitch from Fogarty, a strike. A bit low and away. Good pitch location from Fogarty. The next will be outside. So far in Andrew Fogarty's 2 innings pitched throughout the season, both in relief. That one fouled over to our right. Andrew Fogarty has only allowed 1 single run. And in that ball game, it came from really the 4 walks in 1 inning. However, he did pitch 2 strikeouts in the same inning. That one upstairs from Fogarty. Number 4, the number on the back of his jersey. The kick, the pitch. This one swung on. A tapper over to right and foul. Nolan James picking it up and sending it back to Fogarty on the infield. Nolan James, the man covering first. We'll tell you the layout of the field after this AB. The next from number 4. Ooh, inside. And it barely missed him. And that was close. The payoff. Swung on. He checked his swing. He didn't want to go around on that. That was very much inside. We're starting off the same way we did top of the first, with a full count. The 8th pitch from Fogarty in this at-bat. Will catch the strike zone. It was outside, but ruled a strike. And there you go. That's the way you start a ball game if you're Andrew Fogarty. So that'll bring up number 1 for the Wildcats. This offering low and away. It'll get in the dirt. Garnett, without too much of an issue, there's no one on the bases. Quinn Garnett will go pick it up back at the cage. Fogarty sending these pitches all throughout the strike zone. This one will once again catch the strike zone. Once again outside, or the outside half of the plate, I should say, as that one will go. Swung on, popped up, and that will carry out to right field. And Eli Kuda, oof, he had to throw the glove under him to try and make the catch in front of him, and it pops right out of the glove. I suppose it's the sun not got in his way of making the play. But that is a tough break if you're the man over and right. The next will be outside, a bit upstairs as well. Zients, the batter now. He was the pitcher for the Wildcats yesterday, I believe. He's the man that can throw in the 90s. And this one, a liner into left. That'll get down for sure. We'll see if the man from first can score. The throw from Tegan to Moore. Moore sending it home, and that is a towering throw. And Fogarty's not going to make the throw over to third, as Zients will advance from second to third, and that's a way to get the bats going if you're Mayfield. 2-1 will now be our score. Barch will be the batter now for Mayfield. And we will get a mound visit. We will quickly be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. So now standing in, it'll be Barch. He's got a runner in scoring position over at third. That's Science with a beautiful hit over to left center. And there is ball one from Fogarty. The 15th pitch of the inning on its way. A big swing and miss from Barch. He's number 4 in the lineup today. And with a swing like that, you can assume he's the power guy. That one inside. Fogarty entering today at a 3.50 ERA. We'll see if he can keep up. That's solid ERA. In high school, you don't get an ERA that low. However, he did only pitch 2 innings. His first time getting the start. A little shaky. That one outside. He'll unfortunately walk Barch. So now runners will be at the corners for the Wildcats with 1 away still. Sperling goes the count. The next one will and go back into the cage. Garnett needing to pick that one up and send it back to the man on the hill. That's ball 3 on the count. There's only a strike to counter it. There's 2 away in a 2-2 ball game. We're looking for a good game, 2-2 in the bottom of the first. The pitch swung on. This will be a tapper over to short. Brett Moore handles it. Throws on the first. Nolan James will make the catch. And that is how we conclude our first inning of play. 2 runs come across for both sides. Only a hit for Shaker, but 2 for Mayfield. And we'll see what will go down in the second. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Nolan. Pleased to commentate this one for you. We'll be right back. And we're already at the man who's capping off the starting 9. He's got the duties over and right today. He had that play where the sun got in his eyes and unfortunately couldn't make the grab out there in right. Behind him will be Frigoletti. He's the leadoff man. This one tapped back behind him. A foul ball. That will in the left-handed hitter's box. Not typically an occurrence in high school baseball, but you'll get it. This one to him. We'll catch the inside half of the strike zone. So we're back to the top of the line. Frigoletti, he's the right-handed hitter. Last time up, he drew the walk. This first one to Frigoletti will be outside a ball. At the 5 and 6 spot of the starting 9 to draw those walks. The plate. The 48th pitch from Prince on its way. And ready. That is a way to work the count. Frigoletti doing well. Getting the duties in the leadoff spot here today. Block with the 390 average and a 510 on base percentage. This one outside. 1-0 goes the count. But Flynn Block, not too much of a power hitter. And you can see by the hits, 11 singles. Will beat it out over at first. But that'll bring Frigoletti back to the dugout. Number 8, the number on the back of his jersey. Taking a phenomenal hitter, but his average definitely not the best on the team. However, not a bad average, 319. As in his 15 hits, he's got 7 singles, 4 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs. One of those coming from the road trip in Arizona, where the Red Raiders, in their 4 games, unfortunately did lose all 4. All 4 of those opponents were against teams from Oregon. Shaker, the only representative of the state of Ohio. Block taking his lead from first. This pitch to Tegan outside. And that'll open up his AB in a positive way. 2 away, runner at first, in a tied ball game. Prince with his 54th pitch on its way. A bit low, perhaps outside as well. But I believe low will be the reasoning for the calling of a ball. The balls, no strikes with 2 away on Will Tegan. He's 1 for 1. He's the 1 hit so far for the Red Raiders. This one upstairs. 3 straight balls to Will Tegan. And this is a way to work the count once again. Frigoletti drawing a walk. Flynn Block, unfortunately, getting the field's choice, so that'll move him to 0 for 2. But Will Tegan looking to get on base for the second time already in this one. And here, a pitch low and inside. Will Tegan knew, however, that one would be called a strike. He knew he would probably get a pitch to hit in a 3-0 count. So now we're at 3-1. This next one popped up, carrying over to right center. And the fly out catch is made. So Shaker, after a 2-run first, won't find the scoreboard in the second. And so, as they're tied at 2-2, Shaker's going to need to play some defense. We'll see what they can do as Fogarty will take the mound once again as we will be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're back for the bottom of 2. Back on the hill will be Andrew Fogarty. And we will see if he can get a more efficient second inning than the first. And that is how you start it. With a good throw from Brett Moore as the ground out is made. And he has definitely grown since the beginning of the season. Not too many errors much anymore from number 18, handling the duties between second and third. This pitch upstairs. Very much upstairs. The next from Fogarty. This one right to third. It'll get through block. Brett Moore not able to make the throw. He knew it wouldn't be in time over at first. And Menta will perhaps grab the infield base hit. As that one got right through Flynn Block and Brett Moore. Brett Moore luckily able to keep it from getting into shallow left. But with that, the runner's over at first. This pitch from Fogarty will be getting over to Berglund. He's going to try and tag him in between first and second. It won't work, but he'll make the throw, and it'll just be in time to Brett Moore covering. But there will still be the runner over at first. And Fogarty definitely with a more efficient second inning compared to that first inning. The next from number 4 will be called strike number 1. As this umpire definitely with a more wider strike zone, calling a lot of those outside strikes. And this next one will once again go as a strike. So quickly, Ketchum will be the man standing in the right-handed batter's box. Will foul this one away, and he's going to have to defend this at bat. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Already 30 pitches thrown from Fogarty. This one fouled right back. That's his 31st. Fogarty with a walk and a strikeout. That comes from the very first 2 batters he faced. I do believe this one fouled back. And that hit the roof of the press box. But we'll do it again. 0-2 the count. 2 away. A runner over at first. The next offering from Fogarty. Swung on once again, fouled back. Ketchum definitely fighting this AB. He's out Cats. The next one to him upstairs, and that'll be the first ball from Fogarty in this at bat. That has already been a long at bat. And that one once again will not find the strike zone. That's pitch number 35 from Fogarty. He's thrown 20 strikes and 15 balls, and there will be strike number 3. That's the second strikeout from Fogarty, and that will take us to the end of inning number 2. Shaker needing to get the bats back up there and get them hot once again, as they did in the first. We'll see if they can do just that when we return. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're back for the top of inning number 3 is Nolan James stands in the right-handed batter's box. He reached on an air, and he was one of the 2 runs for the Red Raiders, along with Will Tagan. Nolan James scored off of a fielder's interference between third and home. An interesting occurrence. You don't see that too often. This pitch to James will be right down the middle for strike number 1. And for Prince on the mound for the Wildcats. That is how you begin an inning. The next from him, however, will be rather different, as that one's very much inside. Nolan James needing to get a bit out of the way. But he's all right. 1-1. The count goes even. And this one a big swing and miss. That one a bit low. But he'll pull the trigger. Unfortunately missing there. The count will go 1-2. Nolan James, he won't be able to put bat to ball. He'll swing and miss. That is strike number 3. That was pitch number 61 from Prince. And there's pitch number 62, a big curve from Prince. So with that, he's got a 50-50 strike-to-ball ratio. As this one's fouled back from Berglund. I believe the count 1-1 on Berglund. And the next offering will be swung on a liner into left center. That'll get down for a base knock, as will Berglund will have to be satisfied with the single, as he will get the hit with one away, bringing up Braden White to the plate. White, his first time up, drew a walk, along with Will Berglund, who just got the base hit. So we'll see if Braden White can copy the man right in front of him. The first pitch to the sophomore will be swung on and missed. A big swing and miss will bring the count to 0-1. Braden White standing in with one away in a 2-2 tied ball game. White also got some power behind that bat. There he'll look at ball one. Braden White with a 257 average with 9 hits so far. That one will catch the strike zone a bit high, and I assume that's what White would assume caused him not to pull the trigger. The next to White, swung on and missed. He'll be out number 2. And so the designated hitter, normally playing catcher, will strike out and bring up the actual catcher in today's game. That's Quentin Garnett. He's normally handling the duties behind home plate. Sometimes Braden White will take that position as well. And if so, Quentin Garnett will sometimes handle third. And that's where it gets a little messy. Berglund standing over at first. He represents the go-ahead run if it ever got to that point here. But there's 2 away, and that throw most likely would have got him over at first, but it'll just get away from the first baseman, number 27 for the Wildcats. That's Sperling. Not able to reel it in. Garnett with 1 ball and no strikes on him. There's 2 away. This pitch upstairs. Ball 2. Garnett, not a hit, but he did get on base last time with the hit by pitch. He was the only batter to get hit by a pitch the first time up. Fogarty on the other side of the baseball hasn't hit a batter yet for the men in red. There's a big swing from Garnett, taking the count to 2-1. Bit of confusion between Garnett and the umpire. But now the umpire announces to everyone watching, everyone on the field, 2-1 is the count. And the pitch to Garnett, another big swing and miss from number 6. Coach giving him the signal to his left, and now it looks like he's ready to hit. They count even at 2-2. There's 2 away. And that one fouled back. It'll hit the glove of the catcher, but unfortunately he's not able to hang on. And we'll do it again at 2-2. A lot of 2s on the board. Excuse me, I'm not sure if you were able to hear my previous commentary. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game. Will Berglund, however, the exception as he is not at second, but he is over at first. This one fouled back once again into that softball field over to our right. They're in the middle of a game. As right now Mayfield hosting Gilmore Academy. Mayfield down 8-5 to the women in gray and blue. Here Berglund is going to begin with a stand-up steal of second base. The big man getting the steal. And so now Garnett has a man in scoring position. Can the catcher get the job done? Full count. The pitch fouled back into the cage. That was the 76th pitch from Prince. And we'll see how much longer he can go. The pitcher yesterday, the one a lot of baseball teams in Northeast Ohio are scared of, the man that can throw 90s constantly, and that's Zients, will not be pitching anytime soon. He threw over 100 in yesterday's affair against St. Ed's. And here, Quentin Garnett will draw the walk. He was in a 2-strike count, but he did battle his way to first base. That'll bring up the shortstop, Brett Moore. He struck out his first time up. But as the catcher asks for time to talk to his man on the hill, Brett Moore is also going to talk to head coach Stephen English. Now they're done over there on the mound. And it looks like we are set to continue baseball. So there's 2 away in a 2-2 score with a runner at first and second for Brett Moore. Number 18, the shortstop in today's game. His first time up, he struck out. He's already one of the 5 strikeouts for the man on the hill. There's the 78th pitch, I believe, from Prince. And that is the case. So 0-1 the count. The next to Moore. Upstairs, away as well. Good eye from Moore. He's only got 2 RBI, but with the man in scoring position, you can assume he's looking to change that number right here, right now. The pitch to him. Once again outside. Bit upstairs as well. Just about the same pitch location. Moore, with all of his 11 hits being singles, but all of those hits coming from everywhere on the baseball field. A lot of them in the shallow outfield. The next to Moore will be once again upstairs and outside. Ball 3. 1 strike to start off his at-bat and 3 straight balls in the same location will bring us to 3-1. Runner at first and second, the pitch. He'll check his swing. He didn't want to go around. He motioned over to the dugout. I think he was getting set to run over to first, but that's not the case. I believe the count is full. This pitch swung on. It'll fly over to right quickly. It'll get down. No play is made on it. So the count will remain where it is, 2 away. In a 2-2 ball game. Runners at first and second. The 83rd pitch from Prince. Inside, ball 4. And that'll bring up Eli Kuda, number 11, for the men in red. And it looks like we'll get another mound visit for the men in white and green. We will be right back. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum. Pleased to call this one with you. I'll be more excited if the Red Raiders can bring a run across. We'll see if they do it here. We're back here in the top of inning number 3. The Red Raiders have got bases loaded with Eli Kula standing in the left-handed hitter's box. We've got Russo, the new man on the mound for the Wildcats. In a high-pressure situation, the first pitch will be upstairs. Ball 1 on Kuda. Prince's final stats is he pitched 2 2/3 innings with 84 pitches at exactly 42 strikes and 42 balls. That one, low. Ball 2 on Kuda. Got an opportunity to walk in a run here for the Red Raiders. We'll see if they can do that. Kuda needing some good plate discipline to do so. Prince finished his night with 6 walks and 5 strikeouts. Not exactly a ratio you want to have if you're the man sending the pitches to home plate. That one, outside. 3 straight balls on Eli Kuda. What could happen here? Kuda most likely does not have the go-ahead to swing here, as he's got bases loaded with 3 balls and no strikes. There's 2 away, however. The pitch will be right down the middle. You would assume he'd get a pitch to hit in a 3-0 count. But now we'll see what can happen. The 3-1. Oof. Looked a little low, perhaps maybe a bit inside. The umpire doesn't see it that way, and we're quickly at a full count. So now this is the pitch everyone will hold their breath. The payoff pitch with 2 away, bases loaded in a tied ball game. Top of the 3rd. The kick, the pitch. The swing and miss. There is at bat number 2 from Kuda and strikeout 2 from Kuda. I believe that's the second time they've left bases loaded on offense. Shaker unable to get any runs across with bases loaded. So we'll see how Andrew Fogarty can respond. He's the man on the hill. He's got 36 pitches, and we'll be back for his 37th. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be right back to it. And thank you very much for joining us. We're here getting set for the bottom of the 3rd inning. In a 2-2 ball game, Andrew Fogarty still the man to pitch for the Red Raiders. This one in the dirt to open up Cope's at bat. He represents the top of the batting order for the men in white and green. And the next to him will be swung on a liner. It'll get down in the dirt, but eventually roll to right field for Kuda to pick it up and throw it back in. But that will be the first base runner for the Wildcats here in the 3rd inning. Not a way to start an inning if you're the man on the mound, Andrew Fogarty. That'll bring Monastero, the shortstop, here in this one. Here, a steal attempt that will get into shallow center. He's not going to advance any further, however, as Tegan able to get to it quickly. So quickly, a runner in scoring position with nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes. Monastero, the next pitch to him. Will be 1 to hit. It'll be a pop out for more, but he can't get to it as it'll end up getting into shallow center over his head. And now runners at the corners with still nobody out. Not the way to start an inning if you're Fogarty. Cope at 3rd. Monastero at 1st. The next from Fogarty will be low. No throw will be from Quinton Garnett as Zions The man at the plate taking his swings as he exits out of the right-handed batter's box. But now he's back in. He's got a ball and no strikes, excuse me. And this one will be outside. And he'll try to steal the flip from Garnett, but he evaded the tag. And that will be run number 3 for the Wildcats. Garnett pleading his case with the umpire, but he's not going to change what he called. So 2-0 is our count. Now 2-1, the strike from Fogarty on his 43rd pitch. But Mayfield has now gotten the lead for the first time in the ball game. And here a liner. Brett Moore can't make the play on the dive. That'll get right by him, and that will be another RBI for the Wildcats. 4-2 now our score. As Zients will pick up the RBI. He'll be the runner now at first, with Barch, the left-handed hitter, in for the men in white. This one, a tap over to first. Nolan James plays it on a one-hop, but they're not going to be able to turn two. They're not going to be able to turn two. As Barch hustling his way over to first. So that was our first out here in the bottom of the third. That pitch low and away. Fogarty checks the runner at first. That's Barch. The kick. The pitch. Same location, low and away. This time not in the dirt, but still call the ball. Little update on our softball game over to our right. After Mayfield was down 8-1, they've come back and tied it up here in the fourth inning, 8-8. Just a little update for you there. We've had a lot of foul balls from this game make its way over into that field. This one, same location, low and away, another ball. 3-0 the count. Sperling, the batter. One away, the pitch. That's right down Broadway for strike number 1. Wes Call getting loose in the bullpen. But here's the pitch from Fogarty. This one's right at Brett Moore. He'll play it on a one-hop. The throw to James will be in time. But that'll bring Barch from first to second, so another runner in scoring position, but this time it's with 2 away. That'll bring Alexander up to the plate. He's the third baseman in this one. As he looked at ball 1. Mayfield looking to extend their lead to 3. Our score for the moment is 4-2. There's ball 2 on Alexander. He's 0 for 1. Fogarty with 52 pitches already in the bottom of the third. This next one, foul tipped into the glove of Quentin Garnett. Strike number 1. Fogarty with 29 strikes in his 53 pitches thrown. He's got 2 strikeouts and a walk. This one outside. Ball 3. And here's ball 4. Only one strike on Alexander. The rest of the pitches outside of the strike zone. And, well, you can't close an inning if that's what you're throwing out there on the mound. Alexander will be the man at first. Barch still at second. Menta will be the batter. The kick, the pitch. Low and away. Fogarty continues to in that spot. A tendency that the Red Raider defense behind him most likely is not too much of a fan of. This one, the outside half of home plate, but called. Strike number 1, that'll even the count, 1-1. Fogarty wanting to get out of this inning. And this one will one-hop the dirt. Garnett without a throw. As that went off the dirt and right at his mask. Luckily, he's all right. But the runners will advance from first to second and second to third. 58 pitches from Fogarty now. And this next one, oof, tough call. As that'll be ball 3, 3-1. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the third. We've already had 2 runs come across here in the bottom of the third. And this one's outside. That'll work. The bases loaded. And a big lead out there from Alexander over at second, as he was basically halfway between second and third. Now here's a mound visit as Wes Call stands up over there in the dugout, but it doesn't look like he's going to come in just yet. And Call will still await his turn. Fogarty staying in. He's thrown 60 through his 2 2/3 innings pitched. And the next offering in the dirt. Ball 1. Fogarty at risk of walking in a run with the bases loaded. Just needing one more out. This one fouled back into the netting. Garnett will catch it off the netting, but that doesn't mean anything. The count goes to even, 1-1. Two away. Fogarty just needing to get out of this one. However, that's not going to do it. That pitch outside. Garnett needing to slide over to his right to keep it in front of him. The count 2-1. Menta at first, Alexander at second, Barch at third. The pitch. Tough call. Inside a ball. One ball away from walking in a run. We'll see if it happens. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on, back into the cage. Full count now as we keep getting into these high-pressure situations. Raising our heartbeats up here in the press box. 2 away. Full count. Bases loaded. Mayfield's up 2. The kick and the pitch. And ball 4. Close pitch location, but he won't get the call. There is run number 5 for the Wildcats. And surprisingly, still no pitching change. Over there from the Red Raider dugout. 5-2 now our score. This pitch popped up for Brett Moore to take. And he will range back into shallow left center and make the catch. If only that could happen last at bat. But that's not how the game goes. It's a 3-run third for the Wildcats. 2 runs came across for each side in the first, so we're here at 5-2. The Wildcats with the advantage at home. We'll see what Shaker can do. Can they respond at the top of the fourth? We'll see when we come back. They got to work, as they've only got 2 hits. We're back for the top of inning number 4 as Shaker will be back to the top of the lineup. But here's a man that still technically does not have an at-bat yet. That's Sam Frigoletti, as he has walked both times up at home plate. We'll see what he can do this time around. The pitch outside. Who knows? Maybe he'll draw one again. Both times he worked the count to full. But he ended up getting the ball going his way. He has fought both times up. And perhaps he can do the same thing here. There's ball 2. Ball 2. The 2-0 pitch will be outside once again for Frigoletti, with now 3 balls and no strikes to his name. And he's looking to give something base runner to Flynn Block. The next pitch will be in the dirt, ball 4. 4 pitches, 4 balls, 1 man over at first. And that'll bring up the contact guy of Flynn Block. No, I say he is a contact guy. Today he's hitless. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He's covering the duties over at third today. Normally, he's over in his second base spot. And there's another ball from number 19. That's Russo. He is struggling to find the strike zone. The next one to him, fouled back. Flynn Block able to put bat to ball, unfortunately not with accuracy. So far, Shaker only with 2 hits, one of which is from Will Tagan, the man in the on-deck circle. He's got a double, and Will Berglund with a single. There, looks like Flynn Block, I believe he checked his swing but went too far. If not, it was just ruled a strike, which I believe the latter is correct. 1-2 the count, the pickoff attempt. Frigoletti back in on a dive. His first time drawing the walk, he was picked off over at first. That, not the case. Russo checks the runner at first. The next pitch, upstairs but very much inside. Block needing to get out of the way, and luckily he does just that, as that would have That would have headed right towards his helmet. The next offering. Swung on. This will be a tapper over to third. He can't pick it up out of the dirt. Flynn Block will make his way over to first as Frigoletti advances from first to second. Will Tagan will be standing in the right-handed batter's box. He's got the one extra base hit for the Red Raiders. As it looks like that will be technically ruled as an infield base hit. They'll give it to him. First pitch to Tagan outside. Oof. Brutal call there. I will not lie. Strike one is the call on Will Tagan. As here's a pop-up into the trees to our left. Over to our left is trees and homes. To our right, it's another baseball field being used for the softball game at the moment. Out in the outfield, we'll get the parking lot and the school itself, Mayfield High School and preschool. And this pitch to Tagan, outside, and that will be called his way. Looked like the same pitch location as the first pitch of the at-bat. This time, Will Tagan will get the call as 1-2 is the count. And this one will most definitely be outside as well. Frigoletti, the man in scoring position at second. Flynn Block at first. He reached on the infield single, only the third hit for the Red Raiders. Yesterday, they had 16. However, Cleveland Heights is most definitely a different team compared to Mayfield. Mayfield's strongest suit is definitely their baseball. Shaker looking to strike for the first time since the first inning. Our count is 2-2. Nobody out with a runner at first and second. Mayfield is up 5-2. The next offering to Tagan. Swung on. Once again, fouled back. Way to fight Will Tagan. Tagan, the center fielder in this one, as I don't believe we've seen him anywhere else but center field. And he's done rather well out in center field. But we can see what he does at home plate. The pitch, swung on. It won't get through. Can they turn two? They cannot. He'll be safe. But Flynn Block will be out over at second. Frigoletti over at third. It'll be runners at the corners for the man with power coming up to bat. That's Nolan James. Nolan James so far this season has 2 home runs, both to left field. And you can see most of his hits tend to be going to the left side of the baseball field. Only one over to right. Got into shallow right field. We'll see what Nolan James can do here. The pitch to him will be very much in the strike zone. Good pitch to hit, but unfortunately he will not pull the trigger. Nolan James, a big RBI opportunity. Pickoff attempt. He'll be in safely. Nolan James represents one of the 2 runs for Shaker on offense. This pitch will be inside. Needing to get out of the way a little bit there. as I believe that brings our count to even, 1-1, with one away. The pitch will barely catch the strike zone, and it'll be Wilt Hagen stealing successfully. He will be advancing from first to second. And a brutal call on Nolan James will be strike number 2. He's also got one ball to his name. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are here for the top of the 4th, with now Shaker with 2 runners in scoring position. Wilt Hagen at second, Frigoleti at third. Nolan James calling for time. The count 1-2. Mayfield winning by 3. The pitch to Nolan James. Well, oof, if he didn't duck out of the way, that very much could have gotten him. That'll even up our count. A dangerous pitch to the man covering first here today. Our count is even. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back. It'll go off the catcher and down the first baseline, but whatever. A foul ball nonetheless. We'll do it again at 2-2. One out for the Red Raiders on offense. The pitch once again with a 2-2 count, and he will barely hold back. As you could tell, he wanted to pull the trigger, but he did not. He'll work the count to full. Another one of these high-pressure at-bats with 2 runners in scoring position. We're at a full count. There is only one away, however, but here's the pitch. Russo to Nolan James. Ball number 4. Way to work the count. These Red Raiders are working every at-bat, and that is what you like to see if you're a supporter of Shaker. There you go, Nolan James. But that'll bring up Will Berglund. He is most definitely a power guy. He's working with a .354 average entering today. He's got 2 home runs to his name this season. The pitch to Berglund upstairs. Ball number 1. The next offering will catch the strike zone, the outside half of the plate. Berglund 1 for 1. He walked his first time up, got a single his second. We'll see if he can get on base once more. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed a big hack. But it'll go nowhere except into the glove of Brown behind the plate. Braden White is on deck. But we'll see what Berglund can do. The next pitch will be right down the middle. And Shaker struggling to get in these runs with bases loaded. So another high-pressure situation, and it'll bring up the sophomore, Braden White. 2 outs. Nolan James at first, Wilt Hagen at second, Frigoleti at third. The first pitch to White will be swung on and missed. An opportunity to do some big damage as Shaker finds themselves down 3. The next to White will be upstairs. Braden White DHing in this one. If he's not DHing normally, he'll be in at the catcher's spot with Quentin Garnett taking a spot in the infield. The 1-1 will be upstairs, just barely. The high-pressure situation, bases loaded with 2 outs. Down 3. Braden White calling for time. He won't get it. The next to him will be strike two. We're back to even, 2-2. Our count, 2 outs. Base is loaded. Shaker down 3. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him chasing outside, and Shaker once again leaves the bases loaded. I believe that is the 3rd time already, and we're only through 4 innings of Red Raider offense. But that means we're halfway through this one. Shaker finds themselves down 3, and we'll see what they do with pitching. Looks like they'll bring in the freshman, Casey Robinson, to pitch in relief when we come back. Thank you very much for tuning in here in Mayfield, Ohio. We're back for the bottom of 4. The new pitcher will be Casey Robinson, the freshman. He's wearing number 2 on the back of his jersey here today. The first pitch from the freshman will be strike number 1. This one fouled back into the softball field. They're going to need to call time for that. 0-2, a good beginning to Casey Robinson's outing. The kick, the pitch, and a beauty of a pitch. Looking for a bit of a curve there. Not able to get the strike call. Bit outside. The next will be once again fouled back into that softball field. We're beating up on that softball field here in this Mayfield versus Shaker baseball game. The next from Robinson. Outside. Ball 2. Casey Robinson has started 2 different games for the varsity team. This one fouled over to our right. Not going to be able to get to it is either Nolan James or Eli Kuda. Into center, it will not. Brett Moore is tough call. The safe call over at first. He beat the throw out from Brett Moore. And the leadoff man is on base. And this one lined into the left, but foul. Good contact there from number 1. Robinson working a 4.66 ERA. But already after that first at-bat, he's already got 8 pitches. This one will find its way up the middle into center. Another single, that time for Montestero. And that'll bring up the dangerous designated hitter, Zients. Got 2 at-bats, and he's got 2 hits and 2 RBI. He's also a run as well. This one to him fouled over to our left. It'll go off the dugout of the Red Raiders, luckily not entering it. But the freshman on the mound for the Red Raiders has a runner at first and second already to deal with the dangerous bat up to the plate. 0-1 the count. This a swing and a miss from Zients. That is a confidence booster if you're Robinson. We'll see if it'll have that effect on him. Next offering, tried to get him to chase with a pitch outside. He will unfortunately not be able to get the call. Cope at second. Monastero at first. The next one will be a tapper over to Brett Moore. He's not going to make the throw. Not exactly sure what happened there. Perhaps some struggle on the exchange. Not sure if he wanted to make the throw over to third. Had second guesses about it, but no play is made. Cope advances from second to third. Monastero from first to second. Zients will be in safely at first. Bases loaded, nobody out. That pitch inside. The next one on the outside half of the plate, but ruled a strike. Barch standing in for Mayfield. The next offering from Casey Robinson, a beauty of a pitch. And we will get the strike call. The 1-2. Roll the ball. Bit upstairs, I suppose, and we'll even the count at 2-2. This next one will be a fly out over for Eli Kuda to take. He'll make the grab. He hesitates to make a throw. The 6th run of the ball game for the Wildcats will be in to score. The runner from second, Monastero, will move up to third. Runners at the corners as Zients will remain at first. (6-2) now our score. The pitch from Robinson. And Robinson is going to cut off the stealing attempt throw from Quentin Garnett, as he doesn't want Monastero over at third, moving up to be the 7th run for the Wildcats. That pitch outside. 1-1. That's Robinson's 20th pitch of his outing, and I suppose, since this is his first inning, his inning in general. Two runners in scoring position now. Zients stands now at second. A tapper over to our left side will go foul. Robinson struggling in his outing so far. Sperling, the man up to bat for the men in white, and he will swing and miss for strike number 3. Robinson really just attacking these hitters, as that was his 24th pitch. But he's got 17 strikes. That one called a ball. This will be a pop fly for Will Berglund to take, and that will be out number 3. The run coming across home plate will not count. We will remain at 6-2. 1 run coming across here against Casey Robinson here in the 4th inning. We'll see what Shaker can do, as they've got 9 more outs to work with. They've only got 3 hits compared to Mayfield's 7. And that's really the key to the ball game so far. Who can out-hit the other? We'll see if Shaker can rack up these hits when we come back. We're back for the top of 5. Russo still the man on the hill for Mayfield. His 39th pitch will be on the way against Quentin Garnett, the batter for the Red Raiders. He'll swing at pitch number 1. Can he beat it out? He cannot. The throw in time. 1 pitch, 1 out to start us off here in the top of the 5th. Shaker really needing to get some hits going. And so the bottom of the batting order is going to need to step up. Garnett, number 7 in the batting order. Moore at 8 and Kuda at 9. They're the ones due up. Moore standing in the right-handed hitter's box. He's 0 for 1, but he's got a walk to his name. First pitch swung on over to left and foul to open up his AB. Our score is 6-2. Mayfield is on top 4. And Shaker just needs to string some hits together. They've left the bases loaded, I believe, 3 times now. And that one upstairs, 1-1. Shaker has 2 runs on 3 hits, while Mayfield has 6 runs on 7 hits. That is a strike right down the middle. 1-2 goes the count. So far, Shaker has been able to draw 8 walks, but they've also been struck out exactly 8 times. The next one to Moore, in the dirt, away as well. No matter the case, the ball is what it is called. That'll even up the count, 2-2. There's 1 away. Eli Kuda is the man on deck. The pitch to Moore will be low. The count worked to full. Shaker working a lot of full counts, really getting these pitchers to work. And that's what took Prince out of the ball game so early. He was the first man to come in for the Wildcats on the hill. but he was out rather early, only able to get through 2 2/3 inning. Here, Brett Moore able to draw the walk. And after working a long at-bat, he'll take his spot, well earned, over at first. So that'll bring up Eli Kuda. He's 0 for 2 off of 2 strikeouts. He's got the duties over in right field today. A swing and miss. The stealing attempt. Back in on a dive over at second. Brett Moore beat the tag. He's in time over at second. He just barely beat the tag. I believe the infielders were pleading their case for a moment. The umpire isn't going to change his mind anytime soon. 1-0 the count to Eli Kuda. And the next pitch will be right behind him. And Moore going to try to steal third, but this time they got him. Couldn't evade the tag that time. And so we've got 2 away for Eli Kuda. That last pitch behind him, needing to move forward to make sure it didn't hit him. Dangerous pitch once again. This one, once again inside. This time not exactly behind him. He's going to need to back away from the plate this time to get out of the way. Shaker down 4. We're back for the bottom of 5. Casey Robinson once again taking his position on the mound. And the first pitch will be strike number 1. In this next one, right down the middle, Casey Robinson really attacking these hitters. As there's pitch 27, and there's strike number 20. That one outside, trying to get him to chase. And I know, Casey Robinson, only a freshman. This kid has got a good future here at Shaker. This one's popped up for Will Berglund to take over at second. He's got it for out number 1. Robinson has so far allowed 2 hits and 1 run. That run not earned. He's also got a strikeout to his name so far. The next pitch from Robinson swung on and missed. These are some beautiful pitches we're seeing from Robinson. And this next one, watched for a ball. Ball 2 on the count. The 2-1 pitch. Oof, looked right down the middle. He's going to call that one. Ball 3. It was right down the middle, but I suppose a little elevated. But this time it will be right down the middle. Nolan James ranging to his right. He'll make the grab for out number 2. Robinson efficient here in the bottom of the 5th. That's what you like to see from the freshman. Shaker down 4 runs, 6-2 our score. Shaker needing to get their bats going once again, as they haven't found the scoreboard since inning number 1. They've left the bases loaded on multiple occurrences, but they just haven't been able to get anything done. There's a ball upstairs. 1-1 the count with 2 away. Robinson with a solid outing here in Mayfield. The kick, the pitch. This one fouled back. One and 2. We'll see if Robinson could perhaps pick up his second strikeout. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Base is empty with 2 away. The pitch. Cut on, and I suppose foul. It was kept in front of Garnett behind the dish, but must have gotten bat to ball. 1 and 2. We'll do it again. The pitch. Swung on, this one's popped up, or looks like it'll be a fly out. That one adds some carry to it. Kuda will range over to his right, and in right center, he will make the grab. Shaker down 4. They're going to need to get something going on offense, and we'll see if they can do that when we come back. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Nolan. Please commentate this one for you. What can Shaker do on offense? We'll see. Sorry for our connection issues here out in Mayfield. We're aware the camera quality might not be too good either. This one lined right too short. He'll be able to make the play on it easy. A beauty of a throw to first. There's out number 1. Will Tagan needing to get something going for this Red Raider offense. Flynn Block couldn't do it. Ken, the center fielder. Russo has made, honestly, quick work of these Red Raiders so far. But Shaker has had their moments on offense. They have had bases loaded a great many times here tonight, just not able to get anything done. This pitch, oof, once again another brutal strike call to the Red Raiders. Nothing you can do about it. And the 0-1 pitch to Tagan. Outside, ruled a strike. And I suppose, this umpire has been consistent. You can't exactly complain if the umpire is consistent. Oh, 2. Swung on, fouled back into the glove of Brown. Will Tagan down on strikes. Shaker with 4 more outs to work with. Nolan James up to bat. What can he do? The first pitch from Russo, the at-bat, right down the middle for strike number 1. Shaker has drawn 10 walks, but they've struck out 9 times. This one swung on. Can it get through? It cannot. The third baseman gloves it cleanly. The throw up high, but the catch is made. And only one error from the Mayfield defense so far. And in high school baseball, normally we'd expect a number at least a little higher, but that's not the case here. And so Casey Robinson will return to the mound for Shaker Heights, needing to keep this a 4-run ball game. After a scoreless 5th inning and a beauty of a 5th inning from Casey Robinson on the mound, we'll see if he can replicate that when we come back. Thanks for joining us. We're here for the bottom of inning number 6. The first pitch is fouled back into the cage for strike 1. Casey Robinson pitching really well. He came in relief. He's so far pitched 2 innings. The next one will find the strike zone. Oh my goodness. There's pitch number 41 from him, strike number 29 from him. And this one rolled the ball, perhaps a little low for the umpire's liking. 1-2 the count. Robinson not taking too much time in between pitches. This one with a bit of a curve off the bat. It'll find its way into shallow center, right by Brett Moore. Moore is taking a beating out there in shortstop. A lot of balls sent his way, and a lot of them not able to make plays on him, as they're just a bit too out of reach on a lot of the contact. Here's a pickoff attempt. He's back in on a dive. Lewis, the runner at first. Monastero, the shortstop today for the Wildcats, will be the batter. This one inside, he'll take it. Monastero 3 for 3 here tonight. What a night for the shortstop. He represents 2 of the 6 runs for Mayfield. However, he's got no RBIs to his name. That pitch upstairs. The surprising thing, which you don't honestly see too often in high school baseball, is that Shaker is yet to hit a batter. That pitch inside, ruled a strike. There's strike 1. 2-1 the count. There's nobody away in a 4-run ball game. The next from Robinson. Lined in the left. It'll be for Frigoletti to take. It will hold Lewis at second, but Monastero will be in safely at first. That'll bring Zients in, the designated hitter in this one. And though he isn't having as splendid of a night as Monastero, he is still 2 for 3. He's got 1 run to his name. He's 1 of the 6 runs. And he's got 2 RBI. Something to compare between Mayfield and the Red Raiders is that Mayfield has struck out 9 of the Red Raider at bats. Shaker's only got 3 strikeouts. That pitch outside. 1-1 goes the count. Shaker on offense has only got 3 outs to work with until they're sent home, where tomorrow they will be defending against that rival, the Cleveland Heights, once again. Here, Frigoletti fumbles the catch, so he's going to just make the throw to third. It'll be a force out, as Lewis thought the catch was going to be made. He stayed over at second, but out will be recorded. Unfortunate if you're Lewis. Perhaps should have been a catch from Frigoletti, but it's not the case. That pitch fouled back into the cage. One away with runners at first and second for the Wildcats. The men in white and green tonight really getting the job done. They've got 9 hits compared to Shaker's 3. This one fouled back into the netting. The Mayfield Wildcats logo, the same as the Kansas State program, that college with the same logo except for purple. Mayfield's logo, green. And a nice logo it is, I cannot lie. This pitch from Robinson very much outside, trying to get him to chase in an 0-2 count, but unfortunately it'll bring the count to 1-2. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We're here in the bottom of the 6th, and there another liner into the outfield. Eli Kuda can't bring his glove down just enough to make the play on it, and it'll bring in the 7th run home for Mayfield. Kuda struggled out there in right field, as early in the ball game it was hit right to him, but I believe the sun was a bit too much in his eyes, and it got down for a hit. That pitch down low for a ball. The next one upstairs. Down low and upstairs brings the count to 2-0. As the 57th pitch is on its way, lined right into left. Some good contact from these Wildcat hitters as they are just sending them right through the infielders. Perfect location. That'll bring across run number 8. Perhaps seeing a little bit of fatigue from Casey Robinson. And this next one will find the gap in between right and center field. Run number 9 comes in. There's only one away here in the bottom of inning number 6. This one will find its way into the strike zone. Perhaps a bounce back pitch for the freshman on the mound. The next offering, right down the middle, it's fouled back into the cage. Oh, and 2 goes the count. Robinson looking to give Shaker pitching only the 4th strikeout of the ball game. And that will be it. I think Robinson thought that was out number 3 as he was making his way over to the dugout, and unfortunately that's not the case. And I assume a big play happened over there in the Mayfield Gilmore Academy softball game, as we're getting a lot of cheers. Ball number 1 thrown by Casey Robinson. The next offering. Strike. Number 1. That'll even the count. He's calling the inside strikes. Not exactly a pitch we've seen too much here tonight. That one will get out of the reach of Brett Moore, and now Frigoletti struggles to field it. The throw to third won't be in time. A lot of these baseballs just getting right by the fielders. Not something you like to see. And there's run number 10 for Mayfield. Over there in that Gilmore Academy Mayfield game, Mayfield's winning 17-14. This one's popped up. I don't believe that's in playable territory, and it is not. As I was saying, over in that game to our right, at the very beginning, it didn't look like Mayfield would have a good night, as they were down 8-1, but now here they are up 3, 17-14 in the final inning. Owen won the count. There's 2 outs. The pickoff attempt. Not going to work in succession. Back in on a dive is Brown. Alexander's the man over at third. Ketchum swinging and missing through strike number 2. Casey Robinson with his 67th on the way. Popped up, and it looks like that'll just bloop its way in. And that it will. Kuda with a dive. That won't work out. And Berglund just going to bring the ball in. That'll bring us to a 9-run deficit. Not a good night for Red Raider fielding. Kuda tried to dive for it, but it just went right by him. Still runners at scoring position. This pickoff attempt will once again not work in succession. And the 68th from Casey Robinson on its way. And it'll be in for a strike. Strike number 1. 0-1 goes the count. There's 2 away still in now a 9-run ball game. Another pickoff attempt. He'll be in standing up this time. There's runners at the corners. Brown over at third. Ketchum over at first. The man taking a big swing and miss is Lewis. The next to Lewis. Popped up. This is playable for Nolan James. He's calling everyone off. That will conclude inning number 6. And not a 6th inning to remember if you're Casey Robinson, as the freshman allowed 5 runs to come across. And we'll see what Shaker is going to do, as they're down 9 with 3 outs remaining on offense. We'll see if they can get some sort of miracle going for them in the top of inning number 7. Thanks for tuning in. Shaker with 3 more outs to work with. Here in the top of inning number 7, that pitch upstairs and in. The 1-0 to Berglund. Big swing and miss, evening up the count, 1-1. Shaker opening up the ball game really looked like they had something going for them, but since then, not able to get too much going on the bases. They've had bases loaded multiple times, but that also comes from the 10 walks that they were able to draw. The next pitch to Berglund, swung on. This one right to the shortstop, but it'll get through all the way into the middle of the outfield between left and center. And Berglund will be in. I assume that's going to be an error. That looked like it would have been a routine ground out. And there you go, Will Berglund, the leadoff man, taking his spot over at first. That'll bring in the sophomore, Braden White. The pitch, upstairs. Over to our right, that softball game has just evened itself out at 17-17. That's against Mayfield Heights. They're hosting Gilmore Academy. The pitch to White, inside. That was very, very close to getting him. Luckily, it did not. He's all right. He's standing in the right-handed batter's box. Berglund over at first. A 2-0 pitch to White. Swung on. This one will get through. Berglund advancing from first to second. Braden White with the single. That'll bring up the catcher, Quentin Garnett, number 6 on the back of his jersey. We'll see what he's able to do. Russo still the man on the hill for the men in white and green. And what can Garnett do? Runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the final inning. Berglund taking his lead from second. White his lead from first. The first pitch to Garnett upstairs. Excuse me. Perhaps trying to get a pickoff attempt, but no one was covering over at second. That pitch outside. Garnett 0 for 1, but he's drawn a walk. He's also been hit by a pitch, taking a beating out there in the right-handed hitter's box. The next to him will be swung on. This one popped up. And perhaps, I'm not sure if that got into the softball field. If not, it came just short, but I believe it did. Yes, it did. 2-1 now. Our count, runners at first and second. The next offering to the catcher. Swung on and missed. Got him chasing down low and a bit outside as well. The next to Garnett. Swung on, lined over to left. But that will be foul. Let me say Mayfield over there on the softball field has most definitely struggled to maintain their lead, as it's been 1 out over there for a long time. And 20-17 is now our score. Gilmore Academy leading over to our right. Here's the pitch to Garnett upstairs. The payoff pitch to Quentin Garnett. Upstairs, he'll draw the walk. So bases are loaded with nobody out. They're down 9, but you never know what they can get going for them early. However, the Wildcats will take a mound visit. We We'll be right back. Shaker looking a little dangerous late in the ballgame. Nobody out for Brett Moore, a man who has hit only singles throughout this season. Got bases loaded with nobody out. The first to him. Will catch the outside half of the strike zone. Brett Moore 0 for 1, but he's drawn 2 walks. But in that 0 for 1, he's struck out in that at-bat. The next to Moore, outside, that one. Not really disputable. It was very much outside. Shaker down 11-2, though they're threatening with nobody out and bases loaded. The pitch to Moore, upstairs. 2-1. Garnett stands at first, White at second, and Berglund at third. Moore, the batter, in the right-handed hitter's box. Russo, still the man with the baseball, sending this one to Moore. He'll pop this one up. I believe it's... Ooh, never mind. It'll just get out of playable territory in foul territory. And Brett Moore stays alive. The shortstop in this one has now worked the count back to even. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. And there's out number 1. Eli Kuda, a man who has not had it going for him at home plate, stands back in. He's 0 for 2, though he has had 1 walk to his name. However, 11 walks have been drawn by the Red Raiders. Here, this one will get into the gap. Oh, it'll go right over the glove of the second baseman. He's got some speed, but unfortunately he's just not able to get the ball into his glove. And that'll bring the third run across for the Red Raiders. And here comes Sam Frigoletti. He is 0 for 1, and that sounds a little strange, but that's because he's only technically had 1 at-bat as he's drawn 3 walks. We'll see if he can do the same thing here. And the first pitch to him will be swung on. This one over to our left. If Frigoletti gets on, that'll be dangerous. As behind Frigoletti, that'll be Flynn Block and Will Tagan. The next offering to the left fielder. Noof. Another outside strike call. The at bat, bases loaded, pitch, outside. 1-1. Frigoletti has bound low. The next left fielder swung on. This one's popped up. I don't believe that will be playable. Just missed him. And the count at 2-2. Frigoletti. And once again, he's been calling that all night. And if he's calling it all night, you can't exactly complain. That'll bring up Flynn Block. He's the third baseman in today's game. And the first pitch to him will be outside and low. They just beat him yesterday. All right, we'll see how that one ends, as Mayfield is definitely... Well, they also 3 errors in Shaker territory.